All right, let's dive right into this explainer and look at a really surprising and honestly pretty spirited comeback happening right now in the heart of Chicago. We're talking about ballroom dance. It is making a massive return to the city's cultural scene, but probably not in the way you might traditionally think. So let's unpack exactly why local studios are suddenly seeing this huge surge in interest, how the structure of these classes has evolved to welcome literally everyone, and how you can step onto the floor yourself. First things first, ask yourself, are you ready to find your rhythm? Think about what you're actually looking for right now. Are you a busy urban professional searching for a fun new social activity to break up the work week? Maybe you're looking for a completely different kind of fitness routine, or perhaps you just want a really supportive community hub that happens to come wrapped in elegant technique. If any of that resonates with you, you are exactly the type of person driving this incredible new wave of enrollment in Chicago's dance studios. Moving into section 1, the ballroom dance comeback. And as we're going to see, it is absolutely not just for strict competitors anymore. So, what is actually driving this surge? Well, studio owners are reporting much higher enrollments simply because they're adapting. They're taking the very traditional world of ballroom dance and lensing it into modern, highly accessible formats. We're seeing a huge shift away from rigid, years-long commitments and moving towards super flexible class formats. There's this massive renewed emphasis on lifelong learning and community building through dedicated social dance events. Plus, if you have a packed schedule, which let's face it, most of us do, studios are now offering short-term courses and weekend intensives. It's really all about fitting this beautiful art form seamlessly into the modern Chicago lifestyle. And this really highlights how studios are actively removing the intimidation factor to drastically improve accessibility. By introducing things like beginner-only nights, studios are making absolutely sure that you won't feel out of place or judged while you're just trying to find your footing. And by implementing tiered pricing, they're making it so much easier and far more affordable for anyone to get onto the dance floor, completely regardless of their budget. It's a real game changer. Let's shift gears to section 2, demystifying the studio, where we'll take a look inside a typical class. So, what actually happens when you walk through those doors? Well, here is how a typical class progression builds. Almost all studios kick things off with a comprehensive warm-up just to get everybody loose and ready to move. Then you dive right into specific techniques. You might be focusing on the sweeping, elegant movements of the foxtrot or the waltz, or maybe the sharper, high-energy rhythmic steps of Latin styles. Finally, the class utilizes partner rotation, and honestly, this is a fantastic method. You aren't just stuck with one person the whole time. Rotating partners actually accelerates your learning curve, and most importantly, it really builds your social comfort and confidence out on the floor. It's also super reassuring to look at the different goals within the studio ecosystem. For beginners, the focus is incredibly straightforward and manageable. You're just learning the basic steps, mastering your posture, and understanding the core fundamentals of lead and follow dynamics. Now compare that to the experienced focus, where seasoned dancers are tackling complex turns, really intricate timing, and deep musical interpretation. Seeing this breakdown should give you total peace of mind. You won't be thrown into the deep end. You're going to learn at a pace that actually makes sense for your level. Now, throughout all of this, whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned veteran, there is one absolute baseline: safe practice and etiquette. Instructors heavily prioritize these elements to maintain a structured, welcoming, and above all, safe environment. This means a really strong emphasis on proper footwear so you aren't slipping around or sticking to the floor, and floor awareness, making sure everyone can navigate the shared space gracefully without any accidental collisions. But hey, the Chicago scene offers a whole lot more than just your weekly group session. Beyond that group class, studios provide a bunch of extra ways to engage. You can book private lessons to really fast-track your progress. There's specialized bridal dance coaching for couples prepping for their big day. Studios often offer open rehearsal space if you just want to drop in and practice routines on your own time. And, perhaps the most fun part, they host periodic student showcases. These showcases are an incredible way to demonstrate your progress, celebrate with the community, and even connect with potential future dance partners. It's the whole shebang. Which brings us to section 3, getting started in Chicago and figuring out your very first steps. Before you fully commit, you really want to consider your ideal location, your actual day-to-day schedule, and whether you lean a bit more toward the relaxed vibe of social dancing or the rigorous, goal-oriented track of competitive training. Once you've got that figured out, there's a pretty standard roadmap for joining the community. A typical starter plan usually kicks off with a 4 to 6 week beginner course. Honestly, this is the absolute best first step. Following that course, you'll typically have a review class just to assess your progress and see exactly where you stand. From there, you can opt for private sessions if you want to dial in your technique even faster. It's a clear, incredibly manageable path from total novice to confident dancer. And look, if you're worried about the time commitment, don't be. Studios implicitly understand busy city life, and they go out of their way to accommodate it. They offer low-pressure introductory packages so you can easily test the waters. They provide rental shoes so you don't have to invest in expensive gear on day one. And they feature totally reasonable cancellation policies because they know that urban schedules are completely unpredictable. They just want to make saying yes to a class as stress-free as humanly possible. I think the crucial point here is captured perfectly in this insight from local Chicago instructor Vladislav Knight. He notes, "The goal is to build confidence on the floor and have fun while learning elegant movement." That quote right there, that is the beating heart of this entire explainer. The technique, the posture, the rhythm, it all ultimately serves the higher purpose of simply having fun, moving elegantly, and walking away with a brand new sense of confidence. So, we've seen just how accessible, structured, and welcoming the Chicago ballroom scene has actually become. The studios have completely removed the barriers, the community is absolutely thriving, and the floor is wide open. So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Will you take the floor? Reach out to a local studio, book that very first beginner class, and go find your rhythm today.